Transfer deadline day is here, people. The first one, anyways. What does it mean, though? Will Newcastle be making any moves before 7 p.m. this evening? Yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. It is the first transfer deadline day of this ridiculous summer window. I mean, I don't know why they've done this in the first place. It's all for the Club World Cup, that's why. It's all for the big boys to get their signings in, and that's what's happening because Man City are signing about 3 players a day. Chelsea are trying to sign about 30 players a day. Oh my God, it's ridiculous. Some of the Saudi clubs making moves as well. But all we care about, really, is what's Newcastle doing. Are we after anyone? Are we making moves today or what? Well, probably not, because all along, as it was in the thumbnail there, it's all about exploiting PSR this window, and that's why the main player that's linked lately is Jacob Ramsey of Aston Villa. So we're more likely to make our moves at the end of the month, not the start of the month, not now, not before this Club World Cup carry on. Because the window does close today at 7 p.m, but then it reopens on the 16th of June until the September 1st. So what is the point in that? I mean, the thing is, you can actually still announce deals when the window is shut. So we could still announce a signing tomorrow. When the transfer window's over, we could actually announce someone tomorrow, next week, whatever. But you just can't register them until it opens. So utterly pointless. Closing it for like 6 days. Even though you can still sign players, you just can't register them. And there's no rush to register them. It's not like you're playing a match or anything anytime soon. You haven't even got pre-season for another month. So just a cocked up rule there by FIFA. No need for it. No need for the Premier League to bow down and give this little daft transfer window. Just open it when we opened it last week or so, 10 days ago, and carry it on. Why we're closing the window for a few days? It's just nonsense, man. Absolutely mental. But that's the crack there anyway with this summer transfer window part 1. It is deadline day today, so clubs are actually rushing. Sky Sports, I've just been watching it there. They're doing a big feature on deadline day, and there is lots happening, to be fair, in other clubs. Man United, still Man United. I mean, they haven't gotten Mbeumo over the line. Personal terms are agreed, but he hasn't actually signed yet because they can't agree a fee with Brentford. Brentford boss Thomas Frank looks like he's going to Tottenham, and he's on about taking Mbeumo with him to White Hart Lane. So that would be hilarious. I would love that to fall through to Man U, just to laugh at all their cocky fans who are laughing at us when they beat us to what they thought was his signature. I mean, he will still sign for Man U, won't he? Because of all the money and that. But anyways, that's that there, and Man United are also still buying everyone else as well. How is this possible? They haven't even sold anyone yet. They're in billions of debt. Ratcliffe said they were going to be skint. He's sacking all the dinner ladies, and they're signing everybody. So they're going to get Mbeumo. They've already got Matheus Cunha for 62.5 million. Now they're on about getting Gyökeres. Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon. They're on about getting him. They're interested in Semenyo, who Tottenham are trying to get as well. Chelsea are signing goalkeepers from Milan, and they're trying to sign Dortmund winger Gittins and everything. So honestly, man, these clubs are just moving mad. Like I said, Man City are signing everyone under the sun. Shaky, great deal there, but they spent money on Reinders and a few other players. Honestly, everyone's gone mad. Everyone's spending big early on, and that's why I think Newcastle fans are getting a bit annoyed and nervous. But fear not, people, right? We'll be doing our business later on. We're not in this daft Club World Cup. We don't need to get things done at a panic station straight away. But I tell you what, you can tell that Eddie Howe's back in charge of transfers because the players that are being linked are all the ones he's tried to sign previously. You know what I mean? So Ramsey's the hot topic at the minute. Jacob Ramsey's the one who we've identified. £30 million from Villa. That's what they're looking for, at least £30 million, by the way, for their academy product. But that would give them pure profit in the FFP and PSR situation, which is what it's all about, because before the deadline at the end of June for PSR, that's when you need to make those sales, like we did last year with Anderson and Minter. So we're looking to exploit other teams this year. Eddie Howe's dropped the hints in press conferences before. We're going to be definitely making a move for a Villa player, a Bournemouth player, players like this in these teams who need to sell before that deadline. So we're going to go for Ramsey. I'd love what going for Morgan Rogers, to be fair. But other teams are eyeing him up too. Other teams have eyed up Ramsey in the past, because on social media, I've seen that Newcastle fans weren't quite happy with Ramsey. It seems like a mixed bag. Some people are like, oh, Ramsey, really is that? Ramsey's a great player, quality player. Former under 21 international, very highly thought after. You know, he's been in and out of the team with Emery, because Emery just, for one reason or another, doesn't quite fancy him. Sometimes players don't get along with the managers, or managers don't quite trust that player. That's fine. But before that, he was doing great. You know, he's class under Gerrard. He was linked to us last January. He was linked to us before that. He was linked to Arsenal, nearly signed him. So he is a top talent. You know what I mean? He's a great player then. He's definitely an upgrade on Joe Willock. I tell you that for now, because Willock hasn't looked good for about 2 years now. You know, and fair play to Willock. Brilliant in COVID times and all that, and has been a decent player for us, but for a while now hasn't been up to speed, and we need to improve on that. And if we can get 20 to 25 million for Joe Willock, which is the rumour, he's in talks to London clubs like Fulham and Crystal Palace want to sign him, I think that's a fantastic move for both parties. Willock gets to go to a good club there in London, get his first team football underway and progress. Whereas we get to go and sign a better, younger version of him, to be honest, I think, who can really kick on. So I like the signing of Jacob Ramsey. We know we need to bolster this midfield. After Tonali and Bruno and Joelinton, there's a real gap there in quality. We love Louis Miley. He's got something to prove next season, though, after his injury spell and stuff, which I'm sure he will. Listen, last time on the Champions League, he was absolutely class. So we'll get another midfielder in. If Willock leaves, definitely need one. Longstaff's going to leave. Seen that all along. Sean Longstaff will also be exiting the doors at St James's Park this summer. Leeds United and Burnley, the two promoted sides, really battling out for his signature. Longstaff's will want about 15 million for him, 10 to 15. So if you sell, say, Longstaff for 15, Willock for 25, then there you go. You've paid for Ramsey and the rest. You know what I mean? That's a good bit of business, that, I think. And obviously we're also linked to Radoni from Coventry, the young midfielder there at Coventry, who's impressing everyone. Speaking of Leeds, they also want to sign him. They're looking to make moves this summer transfer window in order to survive in the Premier League. And Jack Radoni's highly rated. Do you know what I mean? And it was confirmed Newcastle's interest in the 23-year-old midfielder a couple of weeks back. So that could be one to watch. We could be getting two midfielders in this summer because we're going to need depth. I mean, the Radoni one would have to wait and see for me because he's got 10 goals and 12 assists in the Championship last year. He looks like a decent pro, but again, with Miley there, I think if you get Miley and then Ramsey, then you've got 5 quality midfielders competing. But then again, all it takes is an injury or two. We've seen it the last time in the Champions League. So if you can get Radoni at a good fee, but then does he need game time to develop? I don't know. It's a sticky one, that one. But let's focus on Jacob Ramsey. He's the one there. If you look at his record from last season, it isn't the best, to say the least. 29 matches, 1 goal, 3 assists. But that was a bad season for him. Previous to that, he'd done a lot better. Previous to that, he was getting called a baller and the best English player in a while and all this sort of stuff. He has, like I said, played at the under 21s for England. So I think Ramsey at around 30 million. It's a bit of a steal, to be honest, in the modern day. Because I tell you what, we're linked with Pedro, who was up there with Bruno in Brazilian duty the other day. I mean, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Seeing them two at the Toon. Little Brazilian boys. Get Big Joelinton back in there as well. Looks like Brighton are already replacing him with massive bids going in for Greek teenagers. Greek teenagers I've never heard of before. They're paying nearly £40 million for him. Mental stuff. So they're splashing the cash there. They're obviously expecting some cash to be coming in for João Pedro, who's allowed to leave. So when you talk about these transfer fees that get knocked about at the minute, it's insane, man. So 30-odd million for Jacob Ramsey, who is Premier League proven. He has done it in the league, more so, you know, a couple of years ago when he was much better, or the couple of seasons before the last one, and at international level. But there's a chance there, and you know where he holds out with players. He'd obviously kick on, and it's in that left midfield row, which Willock leaves, he comes in. It works well. It works well. I like the Ramsey move, and it is a bit of a midfield reshuffle going on this summer. We talked about yesterday, is there going to be a formation reshuffle next year? If we sign Pedro, we're going to mix things up. It's the only reason Eddie Howe has stuck to 4-3-3 for so long, because he's had no choice. He's had no options. He's had no depth. Well, this summer we need the depth. It's obviously probably not going to happen today, everyone. Deadline Day, I'd love to bring you some breaking news live later on throughout, and we will do what happens. But it's more so going to happen throughout the summer, definitely at the end of this month. I'm telling you, end of this month, last week in June, it's going to be chaotic. We're going to be flying in bids left, right and centre to try and tempt clubs to sell, maybe on the cheap a little bit, to exploit PSR when these know they will have to sell to avoid the likes of point deductions and that. So keep an eye out for that one. We're going to be very busy at the end of the month, I'm sure. But on deadline day today, let's see what happens. But it's more likely going to be those clubs that are competing in the Club World Cup. Just looking at Sky here now, and Arsenal might be making a move today. They're not in the Club World Cup, but they look to be battling for Benjamin Sesko's signature, who's attracting interest from Saudi Arabia. So that's an exciting one there for them. Not getting Isaac the other, so exciting for us as well, to be fair. What happened to Isaac? Oh, Sesko. And the rest of them is obviously, like I said, Chelsea not going mad, Man City going mad. Man City obviously linked with Tino. It looks like they might have finally got the hint and took off from him. The link with the Flamengo fullback there now. Obviously, they've announced Ryan Nori from Wolves. That's left back though, so they still want a right back course to do. They want bloody everyone. That one dodgy season, and they're just signing everyone now. And another player linked by Newcastle is Jack Grealish. Now, he could be set to go abroad by Leverkusen, showing interest there. Eric Ten Hag wanting to take him to Germany. I think that'll be a good move for him. Listen, the other English players that went to the Bundesliga have done very well. Sancho might be going back there, where he actually looked like a good player. Gittins, who's obviously at Dortmund at the minute, could be going to Chelsea. and the rest of them, you know, who have been involved there, Harry Kane at Bayern Munich and that. So that could be a move for Jackie Grealish to try and get back into the England squad, and it's more likely than him coming to the Toon, to be honest. Well, I feel like we've kind of flew through this video and covered a lot in a short space of time, but it's just an early one on this Tuesday morning when there's 9 hours left of the transfer window for 6 days, and then it reopens again for months. So don't panic, everyone. All right, we'll get the deals done, I'm sure of it. And if we haven't at the end of summer, then I'll eat my words and I'll be absolutely gutted. But for now, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my channel TV if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts below on all things mentioned in this video. And I'll see you on the next one.